From the digital desk, I'm meteorologist Scott Mundt. This is Weather or Not for Tuesday, November 25th. We have a lot going on. We have snow falling in north central and northeastern South Dakota this morning. That will continue throughout the day with some of the heaviest snows being found across northeastern South Dakota. Coming up in the next segment, we'll talk more about what to expect for today as there's a lot going in the forecast. And then Black Friday, we're looking at another round of snow. We'll see where this one ends up. First, we have to lay down the groundwork, and then that will play a factor in how the computer models do affect the next system trying to come through. But we'll give you an early indication as what some of the models are saying for Friday. And then we'll try to talk a little bit about the extended forecast going beyond this weekend. Let's go ahead and show you an outline that I quickly put together of what to expect here over the next several days. So rain continues to switch over to snow in parts of eastern KELOLAND. We've had a couple of hits of some heavier snows into northeastern South Dakota this morning, especially around Aberdeen. Around 8 o'clock this morning, the rain switched over to snow, and it became rather heavy too. So we'll watch that throughout the day today. We also have the cold air that's coming in, and this will happen as we do go through the day today. We'll continue to follow the cold temperatures that are on the way, and that cold will last straight through the day tomorrow. But we are looking at dry conditions for tomorrow, lasting all the way through Thanksgiving. And I mentioned how that snow will return by Black Friday, and some of that may continue Friday night and into Saturday as another round of cold air comes in as we get into Saturday and Sunday. And then we'll see how long these cold temperatures do last, as some of the models are suggesting that these may continue as we go into next week, while others are saying we'll have some ups and downs. But we'll continue to follow that and give you our last segment. We'll show you the extended forecast that goes out about 2 weeks, and I'll try to bring in some other things to show you as well. But in the meantime, our temperatures for today, as the front moves through, expect these numbers to fall or remain steady, as we'll have a strong west to northwest wind coming in at least 20 to 40 miles per hour. Some areas will have some wind gusts near 50 miles per hour. And coming up, well, actually, let's go to this webpage first, because that is a look at our Aberdeen live cam. And we are recording this in the morning, so it's about 8:15 this morning, showing that heavy snow in Aberdeen. And this is something you can follow along with on our website, too. Go ahead and check out our many live cams that we do have. Coming up after the break, we'll talk more about today as we'll watch the snow in eastern KELOLAND, as well as our strong winds. I need to mention that, strong winds across western South Dakota. That's something we've already had this morning, and the strong winds will continue to make their way to the east during the day. Stay with us. You're watching Weather or Not. Welcome back to Weather or Not as we continue to follow the snow across northeastern South Dakota. This was taken earlier today. This is our Aberdeen live cam. In fact, let's go ahead and check some of the other live cams that we do have. Let's bring in Eureka. I know that we've had some snow around that area. You can see how the winds have picked up too. And this is looking at our website, KELOLAND.com, underneath our live cam tab. You can see how those branches are swaying in the wind as the snow continues to fall in Eureka. Again, these are taken from earlier this morning. It's now a little bit after 8:30 at the time that I do record this. In Mobridge, we've shown Mobridge a lot during KELOLAND this morning. There's a look at that right now. You can see a lot of the tire tracks in there from the accumulating snow from earlier this morning. I do want to check maybe two more. Watertown will stay in northeastern South Dakota. There's a street view of Watertown. Looks like they may be a little wet this morning, waiting for some of the precipitation to move through and eventually switch over to snow in the Watertown area. And Webster, they've had some rain showers earlier. We'll see when this switches over to snow. And again, you could always follow these live cams for yourself at KELOLAND.com. Underneath the weather section, you go ahead and hit that live cam tab, and you'll be able to run through the different live cams that we do have. Well, here's a look at our forecast for today. We are looking at snow, which will continue to be heavy at times in the northeastern South Dakota. And some of the snowfall amounts here will range from 3 to 6 in Aberdeen to 4 to 8 in Sisseton. We also have 4 to 8 going in and around Ortonville. We'll go 2 to 4 in Watertown, 2 to 4 in Mobridge. And you see how the amounts do taper off to about an inch or two, maybe extending into central South Dakota. We'll see if that number is a little aggressive for Pierre, but I agree with that 1 to 2 in Huron and Brookings, Marshall at around 2 to 4, and then those areas that are coming in near Interstate 90 and, of course, to the south, those numbers will probably stay less than an inch. So we're not overly worried about our snowfall accumulations for the southern we'll say southern third, southern quarter of the area. Numerous winter weather advisories for today and also winter storm warnings that all are in effect in northeastern South Dakota, but throughout much of western Minnesota. And as I do move the map around, you can see how the warnings do extend over toward Minneapolis and to the north and northeast into northeastern Minnesota. It looks like northern Wisconsin and the upper peninsula of Michigan. But for us in KELOLAND, these are winter weather advisories in light blue, and in that pink color, we're looking at the winter storm warnings for today, as that snow will continue to be heavy at times through the morning hours, and for some of us, it will even last into the afternoon. And you'll see that here on Futurecast, too. So there goes the low-pressure system to the east. Behind it, we will have our strong winds. We've had peak wind gusts in western South Dakota through the morning hours at 60 miles per hour and more. I think around 7 o'clock this morning, we had a peak wind gust near 60 in Pierre. So we'll continue to follow these strong winds as they march in the eastern and southeastern KELOLAND during the day for today. Now, along with it, we'll have to watch for our snow chances. As you see, by 3 o'clock this afternoon, that's widespread snow in eastern South Dakota. Things can start as a wintry mix in southeastern KELOLAND. So the model is bringing in that shade of green, signifying that, things may start in the form of rain, and then we'll see that switch over to snow as we continue to work our way through the afternoon. Northeastern KELOLAND, we've already had that switch to snow in Aberdeen. We'll see that eventually in Watertown during the morning, and for the afternoon, that will be all snow. Let's go ahead and hit the button and continue in time here. This is during the evening at 7 o'clock, still showing the snow into western South Dakota. It will slowly come to an end across eastern KELOLAND for this evening. While into central and western South Dakota, looks like we may be snowfall free. In fact, wouldn't be surprised to see areas of sunshine today in western and southwestern South Dakota. You see by 7 o'clock this evening, it's trying to bring in those clear skies into western and maybe south central South Dakota. Tomorrow, we will watch for maybe scattered flurries in eastern KELOLAND. Any additional snow we get tomorrow will remain very, very light. Enough to mention maybe a scattered flurry or two in eastern South Dakota. Temperatures will be cold. We will continue with the northwest wind. Tomorrow, we could still see some of those winds early in the day, at least 15 to 25. And then this is Thanksgiving. I'll change the view for you, too. This is Thanksgiving. Across KELOLAND, it looks like we will have dry skies. We'll continue to follow those temperatures as they will be cold. Numbers in the 20s and maybe the lower 30s for Thursday afternoon. I don't think the wind should be much of a problem either. So if you're planning on going anywhere, I would say even tomorrow, Thursday, I think things will be better than what's going on today. But those areas that we do get that snow into eastern and northeastern South Dakota, where we do expect the accumulating snow, if we do continue with some wind during the overnight hours into tomorrow, if you do have your travel plans, maybe tomorrow morning, you have to keep that in mind, that you will probably run through a couple of slick areas, north central, northeastern South Dakota, that can continue into tomorrow morning, thanks in part to the wind, not due to any new snow that's falling, but maybe some wind could cause areas of blowing snow. And when you get that across the roadways and we get our temperatures that will be below freezing, you can run through some areas of ice. So keep that in mind where we do get the accumulating snows from today. Our winds today, this is at midday. Notice the strong northwest winds. We have wind gusts coming in at 40 to near 50 miles per hour or more. We've already had those reports of or more with those 60 mile per hour gusts into western South Dakota and into central South Dakota. During the afternoon, the strongest wind will eventually transition into south central KELOLAND. Notice around 6 o'clock, we still have strong northwest winds, gusting to 40 miles per hour and more, that is covering eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. During the overnight hours, those winds will subside slowly. Notice as we get into tomorrow morning, I mentioned this a little bit ago, still with that northwest wind, 15 to 30 miles per hour. Some of the higher wind gusts into Minnesota and northwestern Iowa during the morning hours into that 30 mile per hour range, and then they'll taper off. We'll go with relatively light wind speeds on Thursday, but look what happens on Friday. We start to get this easterly wind as another system approaches the area. You talk easterly winds, end of November, beginning of December, and you know a system's coming through, you pretty much know that some accumulating snow is probably on the way. And that is our next best chance we have at seeing accumulating snow. Will probably end up being on Friday. And we'll talk more about your Black Friday forecast coming up after the break. You're watching Weather or Not. Probably just start every segment with these live cams. Why not? We got stuff going on. So this, again, is our Aberdeen live cam. This is taken earlier this morning as we continue to follow the snow. It has been heavy at times in northeastern South Dakota. So that's Aberdeen. We'll take a look at Watertown, see if anything has changed. And the controls for these cameras are upstairs in the storm center. I'm at the digital desk. I don't have the controls in front of me to move these things around. So what you see is what you get, and you can always check these on our website. That's what I'm doing right now. One thing I didn't do this morning was check out what's going on at Terry Peak. As you can see, they do have some snow showers for the higher elevations of the hills, and you're able to see some of that snow falling. Terry Peak, and that again is from earlier this morning. Anything going on in Deadwood? Looks like we do have some light accumulation in Deadwood at the moment with our latest round of snow moving through. Let's bring up Eureka. Brought up that one earlier. As you can see, the branches are moving from our strong northerly winds that are moving through the area. And while I'm here, I'll give you this too. You can always check and see what's going on KELOLAND Live Doppler HD. As you do see, we have a lot of the snows falling here into northeastern South Dakota, from Aberdeen and areas to the east and northeast. And of course, where you have that darker blue, that is heavier snow that is moving through. And you can put a lapse on this too. You can see how that snow line is slowly trying to move to the southeast. And it looks like we may get a scattered rain shower here into southeastern South Dakota, to include the Sioux Falls area, that again passing through during the morning hours. Wouldn't be surprised maybe around 9 o'clock this morning for that scattered shower. So quick tour there of our live cams again. Might as well do that as we do have some weather moving across the area. So let's talk about Black Friday. What can we expect for Black Friday besides the sales and maybe some, belly aches because of all the food we'll probably eat on Thursday. But here's how the weather is shaping up. This is Friday afternoon. Trying to follow some snow that will move across the area. We might also try to bring in at least some warmer temperatures, not necessarily here, but to our south. I think this cold air will be in place for us. But this battle zone will try to set up. With it, we'll see if we get these snow showers to develop as we go through the day on Friday, especially by Friday evening. Notice how we do have that snow, western, central, eastern, southeastern KELOLAND, maybe continuing Friday night into early Saturday morning, and then we'll get another hit of some colder air that will come in for Saturday and Sunday, where some of us may have high temperatures only in the teens for Saturday and Sunday. And it brings up an interesting topic too, and it's something that I've seen through the many years that I've been here. Sometimes we see this colder air win out. If it arrives a little sooner, it helps push those precipitation chances farther to the south. And we've seen that before. We'll see how aggressive this cold air is for Saturday and Sunday, and eventually see where it's going to. So we'll have to pay close attention to that as we do go through the holiday weekend. Mentioned before, Wednesday's looking dry, Thursday's looking dry, and then we'll bring in these chances we do have for snow by the time we do get into Black Friday. I don't want to get overly cute with giving you some numbers, but I will run through a couple of the forecast models for you. And this is just a 24-hour accumulation. And it's trying to bring this 2-3 inches or more, those areas in the eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. This is not for today. This is Friday, going into Friday night, maybe lingering into Saturday morning. So this initial run here is off of the European. Let's see the Euro AI, what I like to call the BK version. And we'll just change our view in the north central. And this is looking at the 24-hour total. So it's trying to be maybe a little aggressive with it, getting these 4-inch amounts in the southeastern KELOLAND. That's for Friday night, maybe lingering into Saturday morning. So we have a good agreement between those two European models. Let's bring in the GFS. It's pretty close. Look at that, 3, maybe 4 inches. That's not our official forecast right now, but we're already starting to see some good agreement with these models projecting these amounts for Friday and Friday night. Let's try the Canadian. Canadian's not as aggressive, though it does bring in a band of maybe some heavier snows in the Iowa. But overall, maybe an inch less for many in eastern and southeastern South Dakota. And the takeaway here could be that a lot of the accumulating snow by the time we do get into Friday and for Saturday, we're looking at the best chance for the accumulating snow ending up in eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, northwestern Iowa, as well as eastern Nebraska. So out of those, 4 models that I showed you, they're all trying to show the same thing. The numbers may differ a little, and we'll get a better handle on that, of course, as the days do get closer. We're still dealing with what's happening right now. We got to get that base of snow on the ground, see how the models behave to that new snow that's on the ground, and see how much they do change as the days do get closer, getting into Black Friday and for Saturday. So we are starting to see some agreement there. We do have some snow in the forecast. It's just a matter of how much snow will end up falling during that time frame. Coming up after the break, we'll talk about our extended forecast. What can we expect going beyond this holiday weekend? Stay with us. You're watching Weather or Not. Everyday Live Cam continues to show the snow, heavy at times from earlier this morning. Let's go ahead and just run through our website again, because I want to show you this. This is, and I showed you this earlier. There's KELOLAND Live Doppler HD. Let's go ahead and change the view, and we'll move into a couple of areas here in the northeastern South Dakota. Webster in particular. Now, the radar is saying that, sure, we should be seeing snow in Webster. Well, let's go ahead and check the live cam then. We do have a live cam in Webster. Go ahead and bring that up for you. Hit play. It's hard to see, but if I take this full, sure enough, starting to see some snow mix in there in the Webster area. And I do expect this to become a little more widespread and heavier too. We'll see how much time we have. I only have like maybe 4.5 minutes in this segment. But maybe we'll come back to it if we remember to come back to it, or I remember to come back to it and see what it's been doing in a 3 to 4 minute time frame. Our extended forecast. Now, I'm not putting much stock into the extended forecast. We already have 2 systems coming through. One today, another one for Friday night. We'll see how those play with our extended forecast too, because again, they have to lay the groundworks here. They'll have some snow on the ground, see how the models behave. You got to input that new data in as to how accurate they were. It may be forecasting how much snow should be on the ground during that time, because it plays a role in our forecast going forward. So here, let's take this full. This is Thanksgiving. We know the temperatures will be cold, colder than average. That's expected. lasting straight through this coming weekend. Now, what it wants to do is it wants to maybe slowly warm us going into maybe the first couple of days of December. That's December 3rd. So that's next Wednesday, bringing in those above average temperatures in the western South Dakota, remaining below average in eastern and northeastern KELOLAND. As we continue through time, it tries to warm us slowly, maybe going into that first weekend of the month. I stopped it on Saturday, December 6th, and then what happens as we go beyond that? Looks like maybe another hit of cold air can come in as we get into maybe that second week of December. So we'll continue to follow that. Again, I want to see how these models do behave with what's happening over the next several days with our snow today, snow again by Friday. Go ahead and put that on the ground. Let that cold air be input into the models, and then we'll see how things do behave as we do go forward. But right now, I'm in the camp of thinking that these temperatures will probably remain below average because we'll probably have a decent snow base to contend with. Now, western South Dakota, you did see how those numbers are expected to warm as they'll have little snow over the next several days. Sure, we could get some snow in the higher elevations of the hills, but I don't expect much more than that over the next couple of days. And you see how those temperatures may shoot up again as we get into that second week of the month. Well, here's the European model for the next 2 weeks. Does a pretty good job picking up on that snow across north central, northeastern South Dakota. A lot of that falling today and for the beginning of the weekend, as well as the hills of western South Dakota, picking up on some snow there. Now, the American model, I think it's in good agreement, showing the same thing. North central, northeastern South Dakota, picking up on the snow into those locations, maybe some snow into the hills. And, of course, our snow fills in southeastern KELOLAND for southeastern South Dakota, Iowa, parts of southwestern Minnesota, as we get into Black Friday and Friday night. So I think overall there's some decent agreement with what's going on in our snow chances over the next 2 weeks. We'll just see how these temperatures do behave with that. Look at this, going back to that Webster live cam. I thought that things will start to pick up in a matter of minutes, and that's what we are starting to see, and that's what we will continue to see as we do go through the morning, with northeastern South Dakota contending with periods of heavier snow as we do go through the day today. That's the latest here from the Digital Desk. I'm meteorologist Scott Mundt. I want to thank you for watching this latest edition of Weather or Not. Have yourself a great day.